What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post, you already know the vibes. And do not adjust your TV screens or your computer screens or your phone screens. You are not mistaken, you are seeing me review an episode of Monday Night Raw. It has been a long time since I reviewed Raw, like actually reviewed it, not reacted to something, not just randomly talked about something, like actually reviewed an episode of Monday Night Raw. Like, it's been so long, I actually had to go through my YouTube channel, check my analytics, and it has been exactly 3 years since I reviewed an episode of Monday Night Raw. The last time I reviewed an episode of Monday Night Raw, Nikki Cross was still a superhero. Keith Lee was still employed with WWE. Karrion Kross was dressed like a Power Rangers villain. Those are the things that were happening, and it was 3 hours. So a lot has happened in those 3 years since then. And tonight is the first time in many years since we had a 2-hour episode of Monday Night Raw, which is partially the reason why I'm reviewing Raw from this point going forward until they go back to 3 hours. Maybe I'll still review it, maybe not. Honestly, I edit these and I have to work in the morning, and it's a lot, and I'm tired and I'm getting old and I work with children, so it's a lot going on. But I am back at you with your Monday Night Raw review, and this episode started off with Sexyy Red. That's right, you're hearing me correctly. Monday Night Raw was kicked off by Sexyy Red. She welcomed us to Monday Night Raw and she started twerking, and then the production people cut to footage of Bad Blood. So yeah, that's the kind of start we were off to. So after this, we see CM Punk making his way out to the ring. He doesn't go all the way out to the ring, he just stays on the stage area. He says he's hurt, he's banged up, he is busted up. He competed in Hell in a Cell against Drew McIntyre. So, he's not in a good mood. He's a winner, but he really feels like a loser. He survived the cell, but he really doesn't feel like he survived at all. And he said that when he said that he only had one Hell in a Cell match left in him, he was right, because that Hell in a Cell match took a lot out of him, took a lot out of Drew, who wasn't on the show at all. And CM Punk said, he had to take some time to figure some stuff out. It kind of sounded like he was retiring, but I know that's not the case. And as CM Punk is leaving, he's interrupted by Seth freaking Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins made his return last week by costing Big Bronson Reed the last Monster Standing match, and now this week Seth Rollins is pulling up. He's interrupting CM Punk. He came out dressed like The Weeknd, dressed as Seth Rollins. So that's the type of time Seth Rollins was on. So Seth Rollins comes out and he says that, in all seriousness, get well soon, CM Punk, so he can come back and Seth Rollins can retire him permanently. And then Seth calls out Big Bronson Reed and challenges him to a match anytime, any place, whenever, wherever. And then as Seth Rollins is talking, he gets interrupted by main event Jey Uso. So everyone's just interrupting each other to kick off this 2-hour Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso comes out, and then he's in the ring with Seth Rollins. And for some reason, Seth Rollins did not look happy to see Jey Uso. Now, the last time, if I'm not mistaken, Jey Uso and Seth were in the same ring. It was at Survivor Series War Games last year. So I don't know why Seth has an issue with Jey. Maybe it's because Jey is cool, kayfabe wise and real life wise with CM Punk. I don't know what it is, but that is something to keep an eye on. But in the meantime, between time, we had the opening match. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Jey Uso wrestling Xavier Woods. Now, initially, this was supposed to be Jey Uso versus Kofi Kingston, but Kofi said, "You know what, Xavier, you've been tripping a lot lately. I feel like you deserve this. You deserve this Intercontinental Championship match, man. Let's go. You got this." And Xavier, he's been a little bit on edge. He's been tripping a lot lately. He's desperate to get some wins. He wants to be accepted by Kofi Kingston, He doesn't feel like he's good enough, so he's out to prove it to Kofi. He's out to prove it to himself. He's out to prove it to the people that Xavier Woods can hold his own and be a single champion, just like the rest of his boys in the New Day. Was that the case? Not really. Now, to Xavier Woods' credit, man, he held his own for a majority of the match. But Jey Uso, he's main event Jey Uso for a reason. He's the Intercontinental Champion for a reason. And he ended up beating Xavier Woods with a super kick and a Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. After the match, Jey daps up Kofi. And he's trying to shake hands with Xavier Woods, but Xavier Woods, he's not trying to hear this. He just lost. He lost another opportunity to become singles champion, so he's not really feeling it. And then once again, him and Kofi start arguing. And as this is happening, Bron Breakker comes out of nowhere and spears Jey Uso. Now, last week, Bron Breakker gave this heartfelt speech about, how he respects Jey, and it looked like he was moving on past the Intercontinental Championship, moving on to perhaps Gunther, and maybe turning face. Now, this week, this man did a whole turn and said, nah, screw that, I'm a heel again. And a lot of people were surprised by this. Me personally, I was not, because he kind of pulled the same thing in NXT when he turned heel on Carmelo Hayes. So I kind of saw this coming, even though I was a little bit excited to see Bron Breakker turn face. Him as a heel, it just works. So after this, he attacks not only Jey Uso, he spears Kofi, and then Xavier Woods, who was trying to get Kofi to leave, he catches a spear too, and then Bron Breakker spears Jey Uso one more time, knocking the yeet right out of Jey. So it's looking like Bron Breakker wants his Intercontinental Championship back. He looks like he's heel again. And once again, this is, furthering that rift between Xavier and Kofi. Now, a lot of people are thinking that Xavier is the one that's going to turn heel. I feel like it's going to be Kofi, because Kofi seems like a cool guy, but I feel like the direction they're taking is Kofi is going to have to put up with so much of Xavier Woods being a moody, he's not really himself, and I think it's going to cause Kofi to snap. So we'll see what happens. So after this, we see Bron Breakker in the back. Sexyy Red trying to get answers from Bron. He just walks away. And then before this, we saw a video package from Rhea Ripley. She said that Liv Morgan, she's not surprised that she couldn't win on her own. She had to bring back Raquel Rodriguez. So Rhea Ripley has something for both of them. And then later in the show, you see what was announced as the Judgment Day, but it was really Raquel, Dominic, and Liv pulling up. They arrive on the scene. Sexyy Red trying to ask some questions. Dominic's saying, you know what, man, we're out of here. And then they leave. So they hop back in the whip and they take off. And you don't see Finn, you don't see JD, you don't see Carlito. So I don't know. This is like a split of the Judgment Day. I don't know if that's something we got to keep an eye on. I don't know. We just got to wait and see. But it's looking like this thing between Rhea and Liv is going to continue. Cool. It felt like they were trying to, I don't know what it was that they were trying to do. It was a whole bunch of technical difficulties, but they did get back on track. Back on track to this old-fashioned Donnybrook match between Sheamus and Don't Call Me Butch Pete Dunne. And I gotta say, man, I would have rather seen this match on Bad Blood than any of the other matches that weren't the main event and the Hell in a Cell match, because this match was awesome as the crowd was chanting. You saw blood and what's that called? A cricket bat and shillelaghs and people going through tables off barrels. And Sheamus got cut. He was bleeding from his arm. Pete Dunne tied up Sheamus with zip ties. And it looked like Pete Dunne was going to win. But Sheamus hit that bro kick out of nowhere. Covered Pete Dunne with his hands but tied behind his back. 1, 2, 3. This was the match of the night. Outside of the main event, man, it was awesome. Really fun match. Like I said, I wish we could have seen this on Bad Blood, but it is what it is. Yeah, man, what a match. And it's a shame that we go from that to a backstage segment between The Miz and Karrion Kross. And as they're talking, you see like the little barcode from the Wyatt 6 pop up. So hopefully somebody scanned that and I can see what it is, because I wasn't going to scan it. But as they're talking, R-Truth pulls up. And R-Truth is saying that, you know what, Miz, I forgive you for kicking me in the face. I'm not with the Judgment Day anymore, so that's why you're confused. And Miz is like, what are you talking about? I did that on purpose because I don't like you. I don't like the Awesome Truth. I'm tired of this. And R-Truth is like, man, that's nonsense. I'm going to go make a match so we can tag together. And Miz is like, no. Next week is going to be the Miz versus R-Truth. And I'm like, I like R-Truth. The Miz, take it or leave it, but I have absolutely no interest in seeing the Miz versus R-Truth. I don't even know what's going on between him and Karrion Kross, if he's going to join the Final Testament, or if he's just going to splinter off and just be a heel again. I don't care. I don't care, man. Something else I didn't care about was this random, I don't want to say random because there is a story, but I don't really care to give you the details of the story. But it was a 10-woman tag team match. You had the Unholy Union teaming up with the Pure Fusion Collection. And let me just say, I haven't had a chance to really speak on this, but the Pure Fusion Collection, that has got to be the worst wrestling name I have ever heard in my entire life of watching wrestling. The Pure Fusion Collection, that shit sucks. The team is okay, but that name sucks, man. And what else sucks was the fact that this was really a random thrown together 10-woman tag team match. The PFC and the Unholy Union was taking on Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Natalya, Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega was involved. It was what it was. Lyra Valkyria won with a leg drop off the top rope for somebody. I don't care. It was really thrown together, man. I want to see more for the women, and it kind of looks like we are going to see that, and it is an adjustment period because you're really going from a 3-hour show, condensing all that to a 2-hour show. So I'm not going to be too harsh on this 2-hour show, but we'll see what it is going forward. And next week we're going to have a women's tag team title match. Damage Control is going to take on Jade and Bianca, and you also have Bron Breakker taking on Kofi, and then we see more shenanigans in the back. So we see Adam Pearce talking to the NXT general manager Ava. Oh, ego. Ethan Page pulls up, and he's trying to file a complaint with Adam Pearce. He's saying, look, man, CM Punk screwed me out of my NXT championship. And Adam Pearce is like, man, that's not my problem. You gotta talk to your boss. And Ava's like, that's not my problem. I don't care. You lost fair and square. And then once again, Sexyy Red pulls up. And I'm like, yo, they're really going all in with Sexyy Red. And an Sexyy Red Ethan Page interaction was something I never thought I would see in pro wrestling, but here we are. She's also going to be on NXT tomorrow night, so. But it's time to talk about the main event. This is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther taking on Sami Zayn. And speaking of Sami Zayn, man, we saw Cody Rhodes earlier. He was there scouting out this competition to see who was going to be facing at Crown Jewel. He's talking to Sami Zayn. And Sami's like, listen, man, if you want to talk about what happened between you and Kevin and how you got your cheeks clapped, man, I'm here for you. And Cody's like, listen, man, it's all good. It's all good. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. So this leads us to our main event match. And a lot of people online were thinking that Goldberg, for some reason, was going to cost Gunther the match and Sami Zayn will be the new World Heavyweight Champion. I had my own conspiracy theory, which made a lot of sense, that involved Sami and Kevin Owens and the Usos. None of that matters because Gunther is still your World Heavyweight Champion. But as far as the match goes, it was a really good match. I wanted to see this on Bad Blood as well, but I kind of understand why you want to put it on Monday Night Raw, because, you know, you want to make your episodes of Monday Night Raw feel just as important as your pay-per-views, premium live events. And you have two awesome wrestlers in Gunther and Sami Zayn, so you can't go wrong either way. Gunther ended up winning by choking out Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn was going berserker mode. He was hitting the Helluva kicks and kicking out of power bombs and kicking out of moves at one. And you really thought that Sami Zayn had a shot at winning the World Heavyweight Championship. But like I said, that wasn't the case. Big Gunther won. So it's going to be him versus Cody at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship. And Gunther and Cody ended up going face to face to close out the first ever 2-hour Monday Night Raw. So with that being said, guys, what did you think of the first 2-hour Raw? Are you cool with it? Do you mind it, man? Do you want it to go back to 3 hours? Me personally, I don't care, man. I mean, if the product is good, if the show is good, if it's 2 hours or 3 hours, I'm cool either way. That being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Peace. I'm out. Peace.